Hello, it's Greg Kolodjesic here on board WiTHiN, my human-powered boat, which I hope to pedal from Tofino, BC to Hawaii this summer. We depart on April 1st. Right now I'm just getting the boat ready for sea trials, the second set of sea trials actually, this one out in Ucluelet, BC, which is out on the west coast of Vancouver Island. And I've just finished packing WiTHiN, and I've been promising for quite some time now to give you a tour of the boat, so I figured I might as well do that now. Enjoy. So I'm sitting in the cabin right now, and you can see right behind me the cockpit back there. This is where I sleep. I have room to store my clothes inside two nets, gear nets on the sides of the cabin walls. And I've got a full mattress down here and a sleeping bag and a pillow. And I've also got some small pouches down here which I can store personal things, etc. I've got a little, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a RAM mount that I can mount my iPod video on. And I can also mount my VILIV ultra mobile computer on that too. But I've got a keyboard over here that I can mount across here and do some typing and do some email and so forth. I keep the satellite phone in here too, so that the computer hooks up to the satellite phone and I can do my email work. And of course now I am sitting in the cockpit. I have a headrest here. I'll show you how that works. Because the recumbent seat is reclined a little bit too much for me to keep my head up without a lot of strain on the back of my neck. So I've had to develop this headrest here. Now I couldn't build something permanent back here because it would restrict my my movement into the cabin in the back. So I built this strap system, which actually works very, very well. It's adjustable. I can pull it in, I can pull it out with these straps here, and it works actually very, very well. And here is a view backwards into the sleeping cabin, and you can see there's a hatch here that I can close, and that will make the cabin completely watertight. And as far as other hatches go, I've got a hatch right up here. I've got a pilot hatch over here, and I've got 7 opening port lights around the perimeter of the cockpit. My electrical panel is right behind me here, and I'm just going to show you the Autopilot or auto helm installation that we did. Okay, so what we did with the auto helm unit here is we made a little stand for it to sit on when I'm not using it. So use of this is completely optional. I don't need to use it. If it breaks or doesn't work for any reason, it's not the end of the world. I can still control my rudder using the tiller handle here. But if I want to use the auto steer unit, it will make things a little more efficient for me because it's way better at maintaining a straight course than I would be, of course. So what I can do is I can just pull it off of its little stand here and just extend the, like so. And here we have the unit working like this. Now, one thing that we did which was kind of unique is I looked on the internet and I read some blog posts about this particular unit, the motor burning out prematurely on this unit, because when the push rod reaches the end, it pushes, and if it pushes the end of the tiller, it will eventually burn out. And so what we did is we put a couple of toggle switches in. With both switches facing in, the unit is on. And if the unit ever reaches the end, it trips the toggle switch and shuts the unit off completely. I don't risk damaging my rudder or my cable or anything like that, because when this thing pushes, it is a lot of torque behind it. So we didn't want to risk damaging anything, so that's why we put those safety switches in. Overall, I think it works pretty good. And this is my GPS here. It's a Raymarine unit, and it also lets me see my AIS receiver targets on there so I can hopefully avoid a collision. This is my two-way radio. And this over here is my emergency locator beacon. And this is my Spider Tracks tracking device. And underneath the armrest, I've got a bilge pump here in case I need to case we flood the cockpit and I need to pump it out. And underneath the other armrest, I've got a fire extinguisher. I've got all my flares, both handheld and gun-fired. And I've got an air horn here in case I need to get somebody's attention really, really quickly. Also in the front, we've got a fire blanket, and I've got a couple of sponges here to clean up water and whatnot on the floor. And in this net down here on the bottom, we've got a high-power halogen or high-power LED headlight, which is also hand-cranked in case I need to use it. And I've got a fan here which plugs into my DC electrical outlets, and I've got 4 of those in the cockpit. You can see them here, and I've got 2 in the cabin. This red bag here is a ditch bag. It's an emergency bag, and it has in it more flares. It has a spare GPS in it, a 2-way radio, and I can, if I have to leave or ditch the boat for any reason, I would take this bag with me. And I'm going to show you my bow storage compartment here. And that's where I would keep all of my food, my spare drive leg, sea anchor, spare parts, toolkits, immersion suit. Actually, there's a lot of room in there. 90 days worth of food is going to take up almost half of that storage compartment. And of course, the most important part of the whole boat is the drive leg here. Drive leg consists essentially of a T gearbox, which is that gray box on top there. We connect 2 pedals. Shaft runs down right below the boat, and it's connected to an L gear shaft, and then the prop's connected to that. One of the advantages of this particular design is that just by undoing these fasteners here, I can pull this entire unit out and replace it with a spare unit in case something were to happen. And this is the Seatback Storage bin. And back here, we've got all kinds of goodies. This is a watertight hatch cover. So if this cockpit were to ever get flooded, hopefully this compartment here should stay dry, assuming that this hatch cover is on there. And in here I would keep maybe a couple days worth of food. And I've got my cooking gear in this bag here. The water maker is down here. My marine battery is here. We've got 3 meters which measure power coming in from the solar panels. Power going out to the main circuit board, so I can monitor how many watts of power I'm using compared to how many watts of solar power are coming in from the solar panels. And I've also got an optional wind turbine that I can connect, and I can see how much power I'm generating by with the wind. I've also got a manual water maker down there. You can see it down there. And I've got a toolbox over there that contains some of the tools that I might need to use more kind of on a daily basis. And this up here is my sea anchor rode. I've got 2 big giant cleats mounted to the side here so I can store this 400 feet of rode up here rather than dragging a wet dripping rope down into the boat, so I can store it up here. Basically the way that I would do is just hook my sea anchor to this clip here and start feeding it out into the water, and then this here is my retrieval line. And these are the new solar panels here. I've got 2 solar panels on each side of the bow top deck, and I've got 2 solar panels on the top of the cockpit, and the final 3 panels are on the side of the stern and up top here and on the other side. Altogether they're producing about, they're rated at 250 watts of power. On a nice bright sunny day in March here in Calgary, they're producing about 110 watts, which is really good. I expect pretty close to 200 watts when we get out on the Pacific in the summertime, so that's really good news. That's probably 4 times the power that I really require.